If you've ever tried landing brand collaborations, you'll know that the hardest part isn't actually making the content. It's actually doing the outreach. Most creators spend hours refreshing blogs, stalking changelogs, or just trying to guess which companies are about to launch something new. And then they spray out cold emails hoping that one of them sticks. But the problem here is, by the time you find out about a launch, the brand has already been pitched by like 20 other people and you're late to the party. That's where this new automation comes in. Instead of wasting time, it tracks the exact blogs and product feeds that I care about. Then it filters them with AI, so I only see genuine launches or newly released features. And it drops all those opportunities neatly into a Google Sheet and then pings me on Slack so I don't miss a thing. And the best part in all this is that I still write the pitch myself, but now it's much more targeted. I'm reaching out at the perfect moment when brands are already in promotion mode and way more likely to say yes. So in a minute, I'm going to walk you through the full system that I built in make.com step by step. But first of all, let me just show you the actual flow that I'm running right now, which has already spotted some prime opportunities for me this week. Okay, so here's the full flow in make.com. We start with a Google Sheet, and this is what it looks like. Basically, I have the RS feeds here from the brands that I'm interested in. There's the name of the brand, and there's the URL to its feed, and this is what the feed looks like. This basically keeps track of every time they publish something new on their blog, and it just grabs it in this format and stores it in this feed. So we can use this and keep an eye on this and use this as a way to monitor the latest announcements. And then I have new ops, which is where I store the brand name, the title, the URL, to where I can find the actual post and the date. So this is where I'll be keeping track of the opportunities. So then after that, we have an iterator module, and that is set up to iterate over each one of these RSS feeds one by one in order. Once it's done that, it then goes into the RSS module from make.com and it retrieves the RSS feed items like what you just saw here, and then it pulls that in so we can actually process that using AI. After that, each one of those RSS feeds is run through this module in ChatGPT, and we're using ChatGPT 5 here. We've got a system prompt right here, and then we've got quite a simple prompt here telling it how to classify the RSS feed items. And basically the goal is to decide if it's announcing something new or if it's educational content or a general blog post. And we feed in the title and the description from the RSS feed. And we instruct it to answer only with a yes or a no, so it's easy to filter in the next step. Next up, we add a filter step here, and this is to only let through the ones that have been evaluated as yes by the ChatGPT module. That's very simple. It's basically, is influencer op or not? And this analyzes the result of the AI. And if it's yes, it lets it through into the next step. And then the next step is searching rows and checking if it's unique or not. We have another filter here to do that because there's always the possibility that we could be repeating ourselves somehow by pulling in the same article from the RSS feed. So this filter step checks if it's unique. And if it is unique, it adds it to the Google Sheet. Right here, it goes to this sheet here, new ops, and it adds the brand, the unique ID, the title, the URL to the original post and the date. And then finally, it just pings me in Slack to let me know that there's something new to check out. I only just built this yesterday, so I haven't actually got it active yet. I've just been running it manually. But probably I would set this up to run maybe twice a week because I want it to, I don't think I need it to run every single day, but I do need it to run regularly to catch any new features and product announcements that the brands are putting out. So that's how it works. In the next step, we're going to jump in and I'm going to build this for you from scratch, and then you'll be able to access the full template as well. Let's just run the automation now and just show you what it looks like. What's going to happen is that this part of the sheet, which is called new ops, is going to be populated hopefully with a few prime opportunities that it's pulled from these RSS feeds. So let's just kick it off here. We're going to manually start it by clicking run once. So it's searching the Google Sheet now, iterating over those 4 RSS feeds, running them through Make's native feed reader, and then pumping them one at a time through this ChatGPT prompt, which will analyze them and help us decide whether or not they are actual new product or feature announcements, or if they're just ordinary blog posts, educational or whatever, but unrelated to product features and launches. So as you can see, ChatGPT is racing through them. It's done 11 already. And then they go through the filter to see if it's an influencer op or not. And a couple of them have been let through. So 4 have been let through, and the Google Sheet is now being populated. So here we go. Then it checks that they're unique and only lets through ones that are unique. So I think it's finished. Let's go to the sheet and have a look. Okay, we've got one. It analyzed all these RSS feeds and it found just one new opportunity. And as you can see, new integrations, look, Google local service ads and go high level. So yeah, that is pretty clearly a new feature of the product. So if that made sense to you, it would be a good time to pitch Watergraph and ask if they need any promotional opportunities with this new integration. All right, so next up, we are just going to jump into make.com, into a blank sheet, and I'm going to build you this from scratch. Let's go over here, click create scenario. Okay, so the first module we need to have in place is Google Sheets. And this one is going to search rows. So the Google Sheet is pretty simple. I'm not going to set it all up again from scratch because I think it's pretty easy to copy from the video. All you need is 2 sheets. One called RSS feeds, just with the brand name that you're tracking and the URL for its RSS feed. So I've got 4 here. And you can normally find this just by adding feed or feed.rss onto the end of their blog page, or you can just Google like SEMrush RSS feed, and that should produce the URL for you. So it will look like this. Yeah, so quite a messy chunk of code there. So that's what you're looking for. Then set up a second sheet in your Google Doc and call it new ops or whatever you like. And I've got the brand name here. I've got the unique ID, which is really important for our filter later on to make sure it's not repeated. Then I've got the title of the blog post, the URL of the original post so we can go and check it, the date this was added, and then I've got a few other things here, source feed classification, status, and notes, which I'm not actually using at the moment, so you don't need to worry about those if they're not useful. Manual pitches is something separate that I'm working on. Let's go back to the make.com canvas. So the sheet is called Influencer Ops Tracker Pipeline. So I'm going to go into this Google Sheets search rows and I'm going to look for that spreadsheet. Here it is. We need to focus on the sheet with the RSS feeds in it. And let's start with, how many do we want to go for? Let's start with 5. So that means that's the maximum number of returned results. So for example, if there's 100 in there, this means it's only going to return the first 5. So we'll click save, and that one is already set up. Give it a name. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is iterate over each one of those rows so we can feed it into the next step. And we're going to use the inbuilt flow control iterator here. And we are just going to give it the cell, the identifying one here. We're going to map it to where the RSS feed URLs are located, which, as you can see, is right here in this column. So with that in place, we can click save, and that's 2 modules done. Next up, we need to add an RSS feed reader module to enable our make.com workflow to actually grab all of this text so we can feed it to our ChatGPT step. To do that, we just look for the RSS module, retrieve RSS feed items, and instead of pumping in a single URL, like this one, for example, we are going to go back into the iterator and we're going to pull in whatever has been captured by the iterator, which will allow us to get each URL one after the other. So we're going to take value, which is going to be all the each URL in order. And we're going to leave date from blank, and date 2, we are going to enter now because we want today's date, and we're going to use onboard make variable for now. And maximum number of returned items, again, let's just do 5 to match with our Google Sheets module. And okay, there we go. Let's see if that works anyway. I think it will. Okay, so now we've got 3 modules in place. Let's just test it and see if it works so far. So I'm going to click run once and let's see if it grabs those URLs. Okay, great so far. So as you can see, it's grabbed them here. It's grabbed 4 of them. And I know our limit was 5, but I believe we only have 4 of them in total. So that is working perfectly. As you can see, it grabbed one bundle here, iterated over it 4 times for the 4 URLs, and then fed them one by one into the RSS module so it could retrieve the RSS feed items. Now that we've got the RSS feed items, we are going to bring in a ChatGPT module to process them. We need create a completion prompt. It's already connected to my OpenAI connection. If you haven't got it connected to yours, you'll just need to click add and then put in your own API key and give it a name for yourself. Okay, the model, we will just use GPT-5 system. I tested a few, but this one seems to do a decent job. Now we need to add a system message. So I've already got it prepared here. Just telling it what role it has and kind of who it's supposed to be for the purposes of this task. So you're an intelligent blog post classifying assistant. Then we'll add another message with the user role, and this will be where the majority of our prompt information will be. And we have the prompt here. So I'll just paste that in. Okay, so it's giving it clear instructions that it has to decide if it's a new product, new feature, or major version release. And it tells it what not to do. So do not classify as yes if it's any educational content or general blog posts. And then we make sure it has the right information. And we're going to pull the title and description directly from the RSS module. So there they are. And that should give it everything it needs to be able to analyze this and decide if it makes sense to go to the next stage. Answer only with yes or no. This is important because we're going to filter this later, so we don't want to have any other accompanying text. Click save and click save again for the whole scenario, and there we go. That's 4 modules set up. Okay, so before we send the results to the spreadsheet from OpenAI, we need to filter them for yes or no, right? And only if they are yes are we going to let them through to the next stage. So we'll add our Google Sheets module here. And before we set that one up, we're going to add a filter between them. So this one will be called is influencer op ? And its job is to take the result from the ChatGPT module and evaluate if it's yes. Is it a text operator equal to yes? And I'm actually going to use the equal to case insensitive, just in case it comes out in small letters, for example. It just makes it a bit more flexible. So we'll save that, and then next we'll set up our Google Sheets module. Okay, so you remember that when we set up the original Google Sheet, we had 2 sheets, one for the feeds and one for new ops, right? So we want whatever comes out of this module here to go into the other sheet for the new opportunities. So let's set that up to make sure it happens. We'll use the same spreadsheet ID, but we're going to change the sheet. So this one will be new ops. Again, we'll limit it to 5 just to keep things under control, and we'll click save right there. Okay, but one more thing we have to do before it makes it through to like the final thing, before we add the row, we also need to add another filter to make sure it's unique. So we'll just put the add row module in there, just so it's ready. So this one, we're going to set up a filter and we're going to call it is unique. And let's add the rule. So we are going to look in a field called unique ID. And this field in the spreadsheet will hold a unique ID that comes from the RSS feeds. So right now it's empty. Well, no, it's not. Here's one unique ID. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So this just identifies each individual item in the RSS feed. So we want to make sure that that is not already in the sheet, because that would suggest that it's a repeated post. So let's just make sure that that's not there by choosing does not exist. Okay, so we only not exist in the sheet. So we save that, and now we can set up the add a row module for our Google Sheets. So let's find our same spreadsheet again, influencer ops sheet this time. And then decide what data we want to go in there, okay? The same as the first one. We'll just pipe that through from the first sheet. Now, unique ID RSS feed, so we'll put GUID here. The best way of doing it. Okay, now title, that will also come from the RSS feed. So here it is. URL is right here. And the date can be date created. There we go. These will save for now, I think. Let's just click save on that one. Perfect. Well, at the end, just to let you know, so we'll create a message. Let's just pick a name. Choose marketing. Let's let's choose marketing. You're ready for review. And then we'll just grab the URL and we'll put it in here. Your team know that there's something new. Pretty easy and convenient. So we just click save. And then we and yeah, I would probably run this a couple of times a week, but again, your mileage may vary. So yeah, there we go. Workflow completed. So that's my launch radar system in a nutshell. Simple, automated, and way more effective than manually chasing down blog posts or product updates, looking for new opportunities to pitch for collaborations. And if you find this useful, please hit like so YouTube knows to show it to more people. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this on AI automation and building smarter systems for your business. And if you want to go deeper, I'm opening a membership community soon where I'll share behind-the-scenes workflows like this one, plus templates and step-by-step guidance. The link to join the waitlist is in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.